Maybe, did I not like use enough? Okay, yeah, that is like nowhere near what I expected it to be. Look how cute that is. I'm real nervous about this, y'all. Does that look good? Oh my gosh, this is good. What are the directions? Is there directions on here? Am I making any sense? Wow, I really like this eyeshadow color. Can we like talk about it again? I'm getting so much more excited like as this video goes on. And I know this is not like everyone's cup of tea. If this gripping primer and this setting spray really do what they're supposed to, then I should be able to wear this makeup until next week. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. We're in the bathroom today because we are going to do a very exciting video. I've honestly been looking forward to filming this all morning because we're gonna be playing with a ton of new makeup. This is a like full face, like a full face. I honestly have like multiple products for certain things, a full face of first impressions, new makeup. Honestly, not much of it is like new to the world makeup. It's just new to me, like that I haven't tried yet. So I'm very excited to just sit here and play with some makeup with you guys. My first impressions tend to be like extremely long, so we're gonna try to keep this fairly short and sweet. I also have a really pretty cold sore that's basically healed up. I just kind of have like a little bit of redness left. So I was gonna like put off filming this until it was healed, but honestly, I've had it for like over a week at this point, and I don't know how much longer it's gonna take to disappear, and I didn't really want to put off this video. I'm very excited about it. So we're just gonna ignore that and hop into the video. We literally have everything, like primers, brushes, foundations, eyeshadow, like we have everything here. So I'm very excited to dabble in it, play around. Of course, everything will be linked down below for you guys to check out. And without further ado, let's do it. I got these really fun little like, I don't know, what are these called? Like alligator clips or whatever you call them. And I feel very much like a YouTuber now because I can actually pull my hair back rather than just having it all in my face while I'm filming. I had some extra time this morning, so I curled my hair, and now we're sitting down and doing makeup, so we're getting like all ready today. I'm feeling good. So we're gonna start with sunscreen, and I'm so excited to try out the Supergoop. This is the glow screen. I feel like I have heard everyone just like rave like crazy about this. I actually got like a whole little sample pack of a bunch of different Supergoop products. There's like 3 others in there, and I just feel like everyone is obsessed with this. This is SPF 40, and I just want to see, I'm really excited to see if it's like worth the hype. I've definitely been way better with my SPF usage lately, which is definitely something I have been making a priority to do. So I've been really wanting to try this one because I feel like this one is kind of like a glowy primer, like combo with SPF, which is I feel like why people really like it, but it's also super pricey. I think this is like $40 or something for the full size bottle, which is kind of crazy to me for a sunscreen, but I'm excited to see if it's as glowy and worth the hype as everyone says it is, because honestly, I've been on the hunt for a really good glowy primer, so if this is that, I will be very excited. It doesn't have a scent or anything. Let's see, my mirror is a little bit far from me, so I'm gonna have to look up close. My face, I guess, looks a little dewier, but I feel like any products, like any kind of cream or like lotiony type product I would have put on would have given me like this slightly dewier look. I don't think this is like crazy glowy. Like I don't see any actual like radiance. Like I don't see any glitter or like, not glitter or shimmer, but you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like it has like an actual sheen to it. It just looks dewy because it's like a cream, you know, lotion type product. Maybe, did I not like use enough? I feel like I used the normal amount I would have used. Okay. This clip is like not staying in my hair, so we're gonna let this side rock. Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed, because I mean it's not that serious, but yeah, that is like nowhere near what I expected it to be. So okay, debunked the hype with that sunscreen, at least for me. I have been having the darndest time finding like a glowy primer, like something that actually genuinely looks glowy and dewy, especially like through my foundation and stuff. So please leave your suggestions down below. Speaking of primer, I'm very excited to try this next one. This is the e.l.f. Hydro Grip primer, or not the Hydro Grip. The Milk Makeup one is called Hydro Grip. This one is called Power Grip, but it's essentially like the same kind of thing. I think it's more or less a dupe. It's like similar packaging, similar color, all of that stuff. I've never really tried like a true gripping primer before. This will be my first time ever using a product like this, but it's meant to like be kind of like sticky. It says to allow 30 seconds to set before applying your makeup. I think it's going to be kind of like tacky. It definitely comes out in like a clear kind of gel formula and consistency, but I think the idea is for it to like get kind of tacky and sticky so that your makeup can like really like adhere to it and grip onto it. I do like that it has a pump. I think that's a really, really nice feature. But it does have a really like different consistency, honestly, than like any other primer or even like gel type product I've ever felt. It's like kind of like thick feeling. Like it has kind of like that clear gel type consistency, but like very thick, almost like glue, which I guess would make sense since it's supposed to be kind of like a glue sticky primer. It feels like it has kind of a lot of drag to it, if that makes sense, which I've definitely never used a product that felt quite like this. And it says this is in the shade clear. I don't know if this comes in other like colors. So even though the bottle is green, it doesn't like come out green. So yeah, that's been sitting on here for about 30 seconds now, and it's definitely, it feels tacky, but not like overly so. It's not like sticky. I mean, it's tackier than like your average tacky type product, but it's not like super sticky or uncomfortable. I'm hoping that products are gonna blend okay over top of it. That's like what I think of when I think about like a grippy primer. I'm like, is it gonna almost make it hard to blend because it's so sticky? So that's kind of like what I'm not worried about, but I'm curious to see how it's gonna work. So for foundation, we're gonna be testing out, oh, this is like separated. I just realized I don't think this color is gonna work. For foundation, we're gonna be testing out the Physician Formula Butter Believe It Foundation Plus Concealer. I'm so excited to try this out. I've heard really good things. I don't know why I got Fair to Light. I don't know if this maybe runs dark. I bought this a little bit ago, so I don't know if I did that for a reason. I have self tan on right now, so I feel like this might be, I don't know, a little bit too light. Maybe it'll oxidize. I guess we'll see. Otherwise, I might have to switch it out. But this is apparently an ultra luxurious foundation plus concealer, so it's supposed to be like long wearing, but also like medium to full coverage and buildable. So we're gonna see about that. I'm gonna be using one of these new brushes I got from Amazon. The brand is called Beaky, and this is actually a recommendation from Taylor Wynn. I pretty much buy whatever she tells me to. And it's a really cool sponge. It's like flat on one side. It's almost like basically a beauty blender that's been like cut in half almost. So it has a flat side, but then like kind of your normal like beauty blender type shape. And it is really soft. However, the sponge that I've been using that's also from Amazon that I've been like loving lately, I've used this in all my recent makeup videos. This is definitely softer and squishier. This is like a little bit more dense and like not quite as soft, but I'm interested to see how the shape is. And I mean, it does feel good and soft. I just feel like that other one feels a little softer. And then I also have this really funny looking foundation brush from Sephora. Like this is the actual Sephora brand, and I think this is so funny looking. Y'all would have seen most of these products in my gigantic beauty haul. If you guys haven't seen that, I will link it down below. That took me like 2 hours to film. It's a long video. There's a lot of stuff in it. Most of this was in that, and I talked about this brush on there because this is the funniest thing. It's just like a big like silicone block and really just super short dense bristles on the top. I like had to get this when I saw it. I just think it's so funny, and I'm not sure how it's gonna work. I honestly feel like I might not love it, but I think the shape is kind of funny and it's just like cute and tiny. It could be good for travel, but I do like really, really dense foundation brushes, and this is super dense and also like super soft. So I'm kind of excited, but I also, I'm not sure how I'm gonna like it. So we're gonna do one side with that and one side with the sponge. I'm genuinely, this also looks really separated. Like I had to shake this up. Like it hasn't been that long since I bought it. It's been like 2 weeks, and I obviously haven't tried it out, but I just had to shake it up a lot because like there was a whole layer of something on top. So I don't know what that's about. Oh, this smells like the butter line, which I guess duh, this is part of the butter line, but this smells like the coconut kind of like sunscreeny sort of scent that the butter bronzers, and I assume like the butter blushes. I haven't tried those yet. Okay, I was not expecting it to have that smell. I love that smell, and this does have a pump on it as well, which is always very nice, and it's a glass bottle. Okay, so that's a thin, I mean, I don't know, it's not like thin layer. I didn't use a ton of product, but I didn't use very little. I feel like I just used kind of like my standard amount. And that's what it looks like with the sponge. I just used the flat side. And the flat side felt nice and it worked nice. I honestly would want to try it out with the bottom too, because the bottom, I mean, it's round, but it's like only like a half moon. So I wonder how it would be to use the bottom, which is what I typically use. So I feel like this is kind of like the perfect sponge for literally anyone, because if you like a rounded bottom, a rounded side, a pointed top, or a flat bottom, you literally have every type of like sponge shape you could want. This shade is surprisingly not awful at all. Like it's fair to light. I feel like even when I'm fair, I wouldn't normally choose a fair to light product. Like I would normally always get like maybe light, but typically light to medium. And then in the summer, and now that I'm self-tanning a lot more, I typically go like more towards medium. So I really don't know why I chose this shade, but honestly, it's not terrible. I mean, you guys can see head on the comparison. Let's try it out on the other side and then, you know, kind of compare the color and the finish and stuff. I think it is oxidizing though, because look how light it looks when it goes on. But then over here, I feel like now that it's blended in, it does like change color the tiniest bit. I do think that I need a darker shade though. This is just like really light. I feel like it's working okay right now. It might work for me really, really well when I don't have self-tan on. I definitely am getting more coverage with this brush for sure. I feel like I use the same amount of product, but I feel like y'all can tell it's like, not that it's not blending in, but it's really like kind of sitting on my skin a little bit. I feel like this brush is kind of just moving it around and not really blending it in. If you can even tell, we're getting a definite in the hair, we're getting a definite coverage difference. These are typically really good for just like keeping the product on your face and just kind of like blending it out, whereas obviously a sponge sort of absorbs some of it obviously, but also like I feel like it more like melts it into your skin since the sponge is wet. So that's kind of typical. I'm not surprised that I'm getting more coverage, but I feel like it's pretty significant. I mean, honestly, it looks really, really good. It's pretty full coverage over here, I would say. I mean, I don't have a ton on my skin to cover up, and my skin is definitely like very normal to maybe a little bit dry, but for the most part, it's very normal. But this looks very full coverage compared to this side. This side I would say is a pretty good medium. I feel like you can still see like some of my skin peeking through. It's a very comfortable amount of coverage for me. I honestly love like a light to medium, but I'm definitely here for like a good full coverage as well. So I feel like you can honestly get both with this. It does claim to be medium to full coverage, and it does say you can build it. So I think depending on the application method and probably how much product you use, it does look like you can get a full and like a lighter medium coverage. I do like this brush though. I do feel like I said it kind of just like moved the product around, but at least for this specific foundation, it doesn't look like it's sitting on my skin, and I like that it kept all the coverage. But this looks awesome. Look how nice and like even and smooth that looks, and this is just with one layer, but I feel like I don't really need to spot conceal much. It has a really nice like radiance to it, not like super glowy, but it has just like a nice reflective glow to it, which I love. But I feel like I can never get enough of that, which is why I'm still on the hunt for a really good primer. And I feel like that blended really well and really easily over top of that gripping primer. All right, well, that's definitely looking like a win. I'm just gonna have to see what the shade looks like once we finish all the rest of my makeup. It's not looking like crazy light like you would expect Fair to Light to look, but it's also not my like ideal shade, so we'll have to see. Next, I'm going to try out the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer, Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I've never tried this, believe it or not. I know I'm literally the last person to test this out, but I'm very excited. I actually really want to get the foundation to try as well, just because I feel like this is obviously an older product, but everyone is obsessed with this product, and I know a lot of people really love the foundation. This is such a gargantuan concealer. Also, don't mind my nails. I literally just did them 2 days ago, and they already look really junky, so sorry about that. I hope this shade, oh, this looks a little dark. I got light beige. I don't know. I'm not really the type of person that likes to like super highlight with my concealer or anything, so I like it to kind of match my skin tone. But I feel like this, did I use too much? I know this has a lot of coverage, so I'm gonna use this under my eyes and all over my face. I honestly don't really feel like I need to spot conceal much because that foundation did a lot of the work for me. I'm just gonna use my finger to blend this out just because that's like my preferred way of blending out concealer typically. And you might notice I'm not putting any product on my nose. I typically don't put foundation or concealer or anything on my nose because A, I wear glasses, so it just gets all over my glasses, and B, I kind of like my freckles and just kind of like my natural, you know, a little bit of a suntan showing through on my nose. I do feel like I might have used maybe a tiny bit too much under my eyes. I feel like I kind of have a lot to spread out. I think a little goes a much longer way than I originally thought. So that is the concealer applied. It's looking kind of yellow. I feel like you can probably tell on camera. I think it is picking it up. It's looking like it definitely leans pretty warm, and it's definitely like very creamy and pretty full coverage. I don't think it's like full coverage though. I feel like I thought this was gonna be like crazy full coverage, but I feel like I can still see a tiny bit of darkness like right here in the middle, but I mean, it has a lot of coverage. And I don't know how this shade is working with the shade of my foundation. I swear I'm so bad at picking out foundation and concealer shades and stuff online. I like rarely get it right, but I like how that felt. It felt very like creamy and like hydrating, so I think it's gonna do well under the eyes. So I'm thinking the formula is gonna be nice. I'm just wondering if it's too yellow for me or not, but I feel like our base is looking good, right? Considering like the weird undertones and the shades that I'm not so sure about, I feel like we're looking honestly very even, honestly very full coverage right now. I think we're looking good, and honestly I really like all the shininess, the dewiness. Okay, so now we're going to set everything, and I'm going to be trying out the Pure 4-in-1 Pressed Mineral Makeup. I got the shade Golden Medium. So actually, this isn't translucent or anything, so this might actually be the perfect thing we need right now to maybe like darken up my foundation a little bit and maybe make it match my neck and stuff a little bit better. So this, I just read the box like for the first time, and it says the Skincare Enhanced Foundation Powder, Concealer, and SPF 15. So I guess that's what the 4-in-1 means. That's kind of wild that they're claiming that a powder can be a foundation and a powder and a concealer and an SPF. I mean, it's good that it has SPF in it. I'm not sure how it would work as a concealer, but we are going to test it out. I honestly was going to use these Sigma Taylor Wynn brushes because I'm so obsessed with her and love her so much. And she came out with these like specific brushes with Sigma that she like designed herself. Like Sigma's never carried these, but this collection is not available anymore. I kind of thought that it was going to like stay in stock, or they were going to like re-release it. So I kind of don't want to use that just because y'all can't get it. So it seems a little silly to test out products that like don't exist anymore. So I apologize about that. So I'm just going to use this Sonia Kashuk powder brush that is new, but I'm like obsessed with it. This is like my new favorite powder brush. So highly recommend it. Definitely check this out. Wow, this was almost so bad. I'll powder the rest of my face. I have cream products that I want to try, and I almost just powdered my whole face. So while we're here, I will just powder the sections of my face that I'm not using any cream products. So basically just like the center of my face and under my eyes. Wow, that was a close one. I'm going to use this under my eyes as well. I feel like this is looking pretty like translucent. I feel like I'm not getting much color from it. Here's like a kind of side by side. Wow, definitely smoothed out my under eyes a lot actually. That looks really good. You can kind of see, I mean, obviously it took away some of the like dewiness, but I feel like my under eye on this side is looking really nice and smooth. Not that, you know, the concealer wasn't looking smooth, but I feel like, you know, with the right powder, even a really nice concealer can look even better under the eyes. And obviously this is creasing like crazy, the concealer on my eyelid, so I definitely want to make sure I set that down. I guess I'll have to test this powder out like on my own off camera to see if it actually like gives a lot of coverage, if it's apparently supposed to be a concealer and a foundation. It actually looks really nice and smoothing. I'll have to keep testing that out for sure. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also so excited to try out these e.l.f. putty products. I actually have the e.l.f. putty brush, which I use this for like all my cream products. It's literally like the best cream product applicator brush like ever. But I've never tried the putty bronzers or the blush, so I'm super excited to test these out. I've been loving cream bronzers, blushes, all that lately. I feel like kind of all of us have, but I'm very much into it. So I got the shade Honey Drip in bronzer. Looks like it's gonna be a really nice kind of cooler tone shade. I don't know, maybe it's kind of neutral. It's really nice because the putty brush fits like perfectly in here, so these are kind of like made for each other, but I wonder if they purposely like made it just this size so it would work just like this. I typically like to like pat and like stipple my cream blush and bronzers in more than like kind of swipe and rub. But I don't know, I'm feeling like with this one I kind of have to rub. Like I don't feel like just tapping it is like depositing enough product. So I don't know if this is like too light of a shade for me. Like on camera it's looking a little bit heavier and like just a little darker than it is in person. Like in person this is, I don't know, it's looking very light. It's showing up a lot more, at least in the viewfinder. It's either not super pigmented or it's just not dark enough. So I'm actually wondering if I need to maybe get a darker shade. I don't know, not that I didn't enjoy applying it, but I generally like my cream bronzers to be pretty pigmented so I can kind of just like stipple and blend. But this, I feel like I had to like really work it in to like get color from it, if that makes any sense. It just didn't have as much pigment, which I guess is nice. I feel like sometimes cream products can be like overly pigmented and then it's kind of hard to like blend them and like remove product, you know, if you like get too much on. So I definitely see like the benefit in it being slightly like less pigmented than some other cream products, but I feel like for me and my, at least my current skin tone, that might be a little too light, but I do like the tone. Like I think it looks really, really pretty. I just kind of had to apply a lot. I really, really, really like the color, so I'll probably still keep this color. Like I like this shade, but maybe I'll purchase like a darker option just to have something that would work maybe for my darker like summer skin tone. For the e.l.f. Putty Blush, I got the shade Tahiti. I'm super excited about this shade. This is a really pretty, I feel like on the camera it's looking a little more orangey, like coral. It's definitely kind of like a rosy pink. I feel like this will kind of give you that like sunburned look, which I love. A very kind of like sunburnt, like over the nose sort of effect with my blush, which is why I chose this shade. I don't know, I feel like the same thing is kind of happening, which obviously makes sense. Clearly they're pretty much the same formula, but I feel like I'm definitely having to dip in a lot and kind of like reapply a lot. I'm definitely into this whole like bring your blush kind of like up under your eyes to really get that kind of like sunburnt, sun-kissed sort of look. Yeah, I mean, these are, I'm like very torn because I think you can even tell on camera, look how nicely that blended. Like it just completely like diffused into my skin. It looks very skin-like, very natural. It has that really nice dewy kind of glow and it blends really, really nicely. Like it's very, very seamless and it's not overly pigmented, which again is kind of nice because I definitely have tried cream blushes that are like way too pigmented and they're hard to work with. I'm kind of torn. I really like how these look on the skin. Like these look amazing. I just kind of wish there was a little bit more pigmentation, but at the same time I can appreciate that they're like kind of foolproof. That looks really good. Look how cute that is. I'm very, very excited about those. I literally just realized I don't have a highlighter, which is a little bit weird. But honestly, I don't like wear highlighter every day anyway, and I typically go for like, especially like this time of year, a lot more of like a minimal, kind of like more natural-ish look most of the time, and I feel like highlighter is not necessarily the most natural makeup product. So let's move on to eyebrows. I'm excited, but honestly a little bit nervous for these brow products that we're gonna be trying out. Well, honestly, just one of them. I have the Milani, this is like their, they call it the Weekend Brow. It's like their microblading like brow pen. I've literally never tried a brow pen before and I'm a little bit intimidated and scared by the concept. I got the shade Medium Brown. I've been very much enjoying kind of like letting my brows grow out and I've been loving this brush. This is new from ColourPop. I love the size of it. I like the spoolie. I really like the actual brush itself as well. My brows are a little crazy because like I said, I am kind of growing them out. So they're not like, I don't know, the most tame. I'm real nervous about this, y'all. I have no idea how to do this. So my brows might end up looking kind of cray. But we're just gonna start, I don't know, like flicking it. Is that what we do? I literally feel so unqualified to use a product like this. I don't know how it's supposed to work. I probably need to watch. I mean, I've seen people use this product. That's actually how I like decided to purchase it because I feel like I've heard good things. But I feel like I need to watch like a tutorial on how to like use one of these because I'm literally just winging it right now. Okay. Does that look good? I feel like that might look really, really good. Am I correct? Did I do that right? I mean, okay, it probably needs to be maybe blended with my finger a little here in the front. Oh, there's kind of like a big spot right there. Did I do that right? I mean, you can definitely see a clear difference between the two sides. Okay, wait, maybe this is, do we like this? This is definitely like helping give me more of the look I'm going for. This isn't as hard to use as I thought. I honestly thought it was gonna be kind of like maybe too pigmented and then literally look like I just use like an eyeliner to draw brow hairs in, but it's looking a lot more natural than I thought. Oh my gosh, this is good. I mean, not that I did a good job, but this is a good like product and I like the idea of this. I mean, they're not perfect, right? It's my first time, But I think it looks nice. Does that look nice? I feel like I'm like finally getting that look I've been going for. I'm excited. I'm very excited. And then I guess to set them, again, I haven't tried this, so I don't know what it's gonna do, but kind of along the lines of the feather effect. I got this from ColourPop, and it's the Feather Effect Styling Wax. And I got, this doesn't have a shade name on it. And this is a ColourPop brush. So I think you're supposed to like put the spoolie in here. Oh, or is this the kind of thing where you're supposed to get your spoolie wet? Okay, let's find out. What are the directions? Is there directions on here? I've genuinely been on the hunt for a product that's gonna like keep my brows, you know, in place, you know, this whole like feather soap brow sort of effect. And so far nothing I've tried has actually kept my brows in place for very long. I'm testing out a lot of options. I'm hoping this will be a good one, but definitely leave me your recommendations if you have like a very strong hold brow gel that like keeps your brows in place. Okay, this seems to be working well. I need to go on ColourPop's website after this and see if I'm supposed to use this a different way, but I mean, I will say I don't feel like the tint is like showing up much, and hopefully it keeps them in place. It definitely feels like it's got like tacky, it's got like a kind of glue type of texture. Honestly, I don't feel like it did much other than, you know, just brush them up and kind of like form them into place. But I mean, honestly, that's what I need. Next, I'm going to throw just a little bit of eyeshadow on. I honestly haven't been going crazy with eyeshadow lately. Speaking of ColourPop, another ColourPop product right in a row. This is the Gone Matte Palette. I have been wanting to try this. This is honestly another Taylor Wynn recommendation. I feel like this could be like a Taylor Wynn maybe buy a video. But this is what this palette looks like, and I think it is so pretty. I feel like you could literally use like each row as its own little kind of eye look. You can go honestly like either direction with that, but there's clear like color families. I'm just gonna speed through this portion. We're just gonna do something like pretty quick and natural, just because that's sort of the look we're going for. That's kind of like my everyday, you know, as a mom, that's sort of just my vibe. I'm definitely not doing like a full eye look every day. And obviously this is fully matte, so I feel like you're just inherently slightly limited in the kind of look you can get from an all matte palette. But I feel like it is really nice to have just like a really good standard matte palette in your collection. I know a lot of us like an all matte look, and it can also be like the perfect kind of like accompaniment to other products. Like if you have a lot of shimmers in your collection, a shimmer palette, or even just some kind of single, like, you know, the Stila little like single shimmers. This could be the kind of palette that you just use for the rest of your eye look, and then you can kind of use your single shimmer cream type products as like the star of the show on the lid, and then use this kind of as like your go-to matte palette. So I just used a Fluff Up, just that really nice neutral bone shade, just to set my whole lid. I literally do this as my first step all the time, no matter what. Are very pigmented, y'all. I have a lot of experience with ColourPop shadows and I love them. They're literally probably one of my top favorite eyeshadow formulas of all time, and I feel like I forgot quite how pigmented these shades are, but this is a gorgeous shade, this Fleecy. I love this. It's like, it looks in the pan honestly like, I don't know, just kind of like a chocolatey, almost like a reddish brown, but I feel like on the eyes it's almost pulling like kind of purpley. This is a unique shade, and I kind of just like randomly grabbed that shade. It just caught my eye. I will say these are coming off like a little bit powdery, like there's kind of a decent amount of kick up in the pan. That's the only thing I'm noticing, but they look amazing on the eyes. They blend really well. I'm not sure if I want to do anything on the lid. Honestly, I know I only used like 3 shades, but I kind of like blended that shade in, so I feel like we sort of have like sort of a almost like an ombre. I am going to take just like a flat shader and just use, I think I'm actually gonna use this like slightly pinker tone just to highlight. Again, typically I would do this with a shimmer shade, generally speaking. This is pretty. Okay. I'm really excited about this. I feel like I want to keep using that. I feel like that's like the true testament to how I feel about a product. If I'm like very excited to use it again, like I cannot wait to pick it up again, whether it's a foundation or a palette or anything. If I'm like looking forward to using it again, that's like the true test. So now I want to try another. This is a Taylor Wynn recommendation too. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. This is the Lottie London Super Fake False Lash Effect Mascara. I'm very excited about this. She like really hypes this up. Apparently this like gives you thicker, longer, like lifted lashes and has a really long like wear time. I'm excited because this is super affordable. This is available at Ulta. It was like going in and out of stock a lot. Honestly, it was kind of hard to get my hands on this. So hopefully y'all can grab it. But it's really like cute. It's simple, but I like the kind of metallic-y font on it. It also has a very, very, very rubberized, super short bristle brush. I always curl my lashes, like always, but I'm kind of thinking about just trying this without curling my lashes, just to like see what it does on its own. My lashes kind of suck ever since being pregnant and now nursing, and I'm not able to use my traditional lash serum that I always use that like really helps my lashes a ton. My lashes have just, they're not the same without it, so I need all the help I can get. And I obviously got the shade black. Okay. That looks good. I think that looks really good. And I, like I said, obviously didn't curl my lashes. So this is just straight up what the mascara can do. I only used one coat. I didn't even dip this back in between eyes. I just did this eye and then this eye. I feel like they look almost like, I don't know, kind of like that doll-like effect where they're sort of like, not clumpy, but they're sort of like spread out, but also like thickened. So they sort of have like that very kind of like, not spidery, but like very kind of wispy type of effect. Am I making any sense? Wow, I really like this eyeshadow color. Can we like talk about it again? No, just kidding. Let's not talk about it again. But I mean, I love that shade. There's something about an all matte look, honestly. Just like kind of almost like a one. Obviously, I use more than one shade on my lid, but it almost has that like one shade effect. I feel like it looks like I spent more time on my eyeshadow than I actually did. I'm getting so much more excited like as this video goes on. I feel like things are going very well. I'm actually excited about this brush being like so tiny and skinny. Like I think you can tell it's got like the most stubbiest little bristles, but those are typically the kind of brushes that work really well for the lower lash line. I feel like maybe if you're on the hunt for a lower lash mascara, this might be a really good one to try. This is so good. It's a really nice size for the lower lashes, and like I feel like again it's giving me sort of like that doll effect. I guess it is separating and lengthening, and like I don't know, it's not super thickening. I honestly haven't been blown away by a mascara in a while. I recently tried the MAC Stack mascara that like everyone's freaking out about, and spoiler alert, I was not blown away by that like everyone else seems to be. And obviously this is like probably a quarter of the price of this one. I'm so far like off the bat first impression liking it better than a very expensive high-end one. Just for like an everyday makeup look, which is, again, I'm a mom, so that's what I do. I just do kind of like low maintenance, simple stuff. This is amazing. Like this is gorgeous. And then last but not least, we're gonna do a lip product, which hopefully I've been able to cover up this up well enough throughout this video. But I randomly picked up a Kylie matte liquid lipstick, which I've actually never tried one of her matte liquid lipsticks before. I don't think that I can remember. And I just got Candy K because I feel like that's kind of like a standard like classic lip shade that everyone seems to really like. I feel like these were like very, very hyped up for a very long time, and I never jumped on the bandwagon. And this is a matte, which I don't typically like super love matte lips, but we will give this a go. I know it's not like ideal to use a lip product over a healing cold sore, but oh wow, this smells like a cupcake. Oh, I like that. Yeah, this is like super matte. So that is that color. I feel like it's actually kind of darkened a tiny bit as it's kind of set down, but it's really pretty. I feel like on camera, I don't know if it's my shirt. I feel like everything on camera is looking a little bit warmer. It's really, really pretty, but I think you can tell it's still very sticky and it's very, very matte. So I feel like this is the kind of product I would definitely want to add like a gloss over, just for like me personally, for my own preferences. But it's a really pretty shade. Not like a super like natural looking shade, but also, you know, not like overly bold. It wouldn't like stand out a ton. So if you don't like to wear anything like too intense on your lips, you just like something that adds a little wash of color, this is really pretty. And then last but not least, this is not like a new product. I've been using this a ton, but I haven't used it on camera, so I figured we would do that here today. But this is a freckle pen. And I know this is not like everyone's cup of tea to add like fake freckles, but I have been loving that look. I do have like some natural freckles, especially when I spend a good amount of time in the sun, which I've been trying not to do, you know, for skin health and all of that. But I do get a lot of freckles like naturally in the summer. Since I haven't been spending as much time in the sun, I've just been using one of these. This one's from Amazon. It's literally like $3. It's super, super affordable. However, I do feel like it kind of runs out of ink kind of quickly. So, I mean, I guess you get what you pay for. But I just wanted to like try out the, you know, trend or whatever. So I just got this one and I actually really like it. I literally just like dab it all over. I guess the fact that it's not like overly pigmented is kind of nice. It's like fairly foolproof. I just kind of go like across my nose a little bit, sort of on my cheeks, and then a couple on the outer edges. And I feel like it just kind of gives you, again, that like sun-kissed, like sunburned, very like summery, natural, even though they're fake, kind of look. That's just kind of like what I'm into lately. Like between like the blush and like the feathery brows, I'm kind of going for that like artificial, natural look. I want everything to look as natural as possible by putting a lot of product and a lot of work into it. But I'm so here for it, and I love this look. This was a lot more pigmented when I first got it, so I would use like my foundation sponge or brush, or even just like a brush that I've used for cream products, and just sort of like pat over it just to blend them in and make them, you know, a little bit less stark. But now that I've been using it for a while and it's kind of running out of ink, I feel like it's kind of perfect as it is, and I don't even really need to do that. So this is the final look. I had so much fun doing this, guys. I honestly haven't filmed one of these videos in ages because A, it's been a while since I've had like a ton of new makeup products. Oh, I just remembered. I also have this new Benefit, the Professional Super Setter makeup setting spray. I need to try this. This is like a multitasking, apparently it's a micro fine mist. Apparently it helps to like blur the pores, you know, like the Professional is meant to, but also locks your makeup on for 16 hours. So that sounds good to me. I feel like if this gripping primer and this setting spray really do what they're supposed to, then I should be able to wear this makeup until next week. Oh, this is weird. It has like a big lid and then also a baby lid. That's funny. Okay, let's try this out. I love setting my makeup. I feel like it's one of those steps that can make a really big difference in just like kind of the overall like look of your makeup, and just kind of help it like blend in, melt in, kind of like become one on your face. Ooh, it smells nice. Ooh, it smells really nice. Okay, it does have a fine mist, but after you like, you know, use it the first like couple spritz, I feel like the first couple sprays were a little intense, and I feel like sometimes, yeah, depending on how big they are, they can almost leave like little spots on your face. But I feel like after I got those first couple sprays out, it was very fine. It felt really nice going on. Maybe, did it give us a little extra glow? I feel like it did, because remember, I don't have any highlighter on, and I did not set like my blush or bronzer. So like this part of my face, it doesn't feel super tacky. It definitely, you know, feels like it's not set. So I do feel like I have kind of a natural glow from those cream products, but I do feel like that spray added a little, oh yeah, right, it did. Actually, it says it will visibly reduce shine. Maybe like over the day, like over time. That looks nice. Did it minimize my pores? Probably not. I mean, I don't really see how a spray could fill in my pores. Leave me your recommendations for a pore filling primer as well. I'm definitely on the hunt for like all the good primers right now. Y'all, I feel like this video went very well. I feel like I found a lot of good products. I'm super excited about these putty products. I really like that sponge. And honestly, I feel like the shade of the foundation is not bad. Like I feel like maybe just like one shade darker would maybe be better. Plus the fact that this powder has a little bit of color probably helped a little bit. I'm honestly pretty surprised, but very excited like about everything. Honestly, everything's looking really good. I'm not obsessed with this lipstick. I mean, it's fine. I like the color, but I really don't love how sticky it is and like how overly matte it is. I feel like we have a really good look going on. A little bit more like made up than I would do maybe on like an everyday basis, but at the same time still like a very like simple natural look. And like if you obviously go to work, or I was like going out to like lunch or something like that, like this is what I would do. This is right up my alley, and we had so many good products. So this was super fun. Like I said, I'll have everything linked down below so you guys can try out some of these products for yourself. I guess the only thing that was maybe like kind of disappointing was that sunscreen. I thought that was so hyped up, and I feel like that I didn't know notice any difference using that than I do like any other sunscreen product. So that's the only thing I would say that maybe you like don't need to go get, or definitely not like spend money on for like the price tag of the full size. I feel like it's so fun to just sit down and like play with makeup and discovering like new products that just kind of like knock your socks off. So I'm so excited. Definitely check out the description box if you guys want to try some of these. I mean, most of these, well, I guess there was like a mix of high-end and drugstore prices and products in this video, which I guess is kind of nice, but I feel like a lot of these products are very much worth checking out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here, and until next time, I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.